as we got players on both sides getting their helmets on, getting ready for the season. And Matt, you've played football at the high school level. You understand this moment. What are those last seconds before that first kickoff of the season like for these players on the field tonight?
Yeah, really the last moments that before the season kicks off, you're just thinking, has all the work you paid or done in the offseason paid off? And just really how excited you are to go out there and just really try and go improve it.
Yesterday at the Lakers' final practice, had a chance to listen in on the huddle as offensive coordinator Ken Rice lauded his team for their work ethic over the offseason and encouraged them, hey, before we get going, both tonight, this Wednesday night before the game, Thursday, in those moments before the kickoff, play the game through in your head. That way, when these moments come up that you're going to have to go through, the adversity of the first game, the 10th game, the state championship game, and anywhere in between, you're all ready for it. The Lakers going to kick off to begin this game from the left hash at the 40-yard line. The Tractors on the other side, moving left to right across your screen and your radio dial at Lakers Stadium. Got 12 minutes on the clock in the first quarter, 48 for the full four-quarter ball game tonight between the OAA Reds, Lakers, and the Tractors of Dearborn Fordson. This kickoff is a line drive. Returned and dropped at the 15, down at the 20, and recovered ultimately just near the sideline. A huge hit from Kalik Robinson to start the special team season.
Yeah, really trying to set the tone right there, flying in there with the hit at the end of the play, and that's exactly what you want to see from this Lakers defense. You want to see them be physical, fly to the football, and force some turnovers.
Recovering the kickoff, Ahmed Albarehi for the Dearborn Fordson Tractors. They've got a veteran offense in some ways and a young offense in others, much like the West Bloomfield Lakers. It's all led by junior quarterback Firas Awadallah out in the number 9. The white uniforms with blue numbers and yellow pants and helmet for the Fordson Tractors. Twins lined up to the left. Awadallah in the gun. Hands it off. Not going to get much of anything. Back to the line of scrimmage, and a big stop for the Lakers. Right on top of that, Jeremiah Benson.
Yeah, just a huge play right there for Benson. Not necessarily bringing the one to, or being the one to bring him down by himself, but just disrupting that play and holding up the running back long enough to where number 22, Ezekiel Davis, can get in there and bring him down for a loss.
Benson, the Minnesota commit, a 3-star player. He's going to be playing both ways. We'll talk a little bit more later on about his offensive role in 2025, but he's that guy you're going to see getting to the quarterback with 11:18 to go in the first. Second down for Fordson out of the gun. Awadallah, quick pass up the middle, going nowhere in the range of a Laker defender and incomplete. That ball intended for Ali Al-Ziyadi.
It looked like Will Espy was the closest one to the ball right there. Very nearly an interception, just off target enough to where a Laker wasn't able to intercept that ball.
Lakers already getting really good pressure. This defensive line is the absolute toast of this team in 2025, and that's really where the Lakers' defenses have been best in recent years.
Yeah, they have a lot of athletic defensive linemen. It's going to be interesting to see how they get to the quarterback this year.
It's going to be hat on a hat for athletes in this ball game. Trips right on third down for the Tractors. Awadallah runs right out of the gun, throw toward the sideline at the 20. It's caught. Going to get up to about the 24 and met by a slew of Lakers. Ultimately, Kyron Merriweather on the stop.
Yeah, flying to the football once again, but can't help but think that's a high pass right there and may have prevented Fordson from picking up the first down right there.
Yeah, a little bit high intended for Hassan Al-Mehdi. Brings up fourth down for the Tractors at the right hash. They only advance up to the 24-yard line. As we'll see the Lakers, ultimately after this punt, get a chance on offense to see what they're made of. That's the real question mark in 2025 for the Lakers. This defense already showing their might. Less than a minute and a half so far on this offensive drive. We have a stoppage in play, and referees getting things lined up. A little bit of discussion as we look deep down the field. The two Lakers lined up back there. Christian Banks, the athletic junior for West Bloomfield, in the foreground. He's going to be getting a lot of action, too, on this defense for the Lakers. He's another one of those long-time North Farmington, West Bloomfield Vikings alums, junior football. A lot of the Lakers' best players in recent years have come out of that program. Guys like Dylan Tatum, who had a stellar career in that program. Donovan Edwards also having been a veteran of that program. It's one of those minor leagues, so to speak, that leads into Laker football at the high school level before these guys get into freshman and junior varsity programs and ultimately make their way to varsity. They're often playing in those junior leagues. And they're making a lot of relationships that grow throughout their football career.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, those relationships, that is huge for the Lakers once they get to the high school level, because they're already so familiar with playing with one another. It just makes things so much easier to communicate, whether it's on the offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball, or even in the locker room.
Referees continuing to discuss the details of this fourth down for Fordson. 0-0 ball game early on in this contest. 10:22 remaining in the first quarter between West Bloomfield and Dearborn Fordson. Two men back deep for the Lakers. This punt's got tons of hang time on it. It lands at the 45 and takes a Fordson bounce down to about the 43. And great field position for this Lakers offense. Now they got to see what they can do with it now.
Yeah, really important test here for the Lakers offense, getting good field position for the first drive of the year. And I just wonder if it's going to be a pass or run to open the season. Maybe catch the defense off guard, take a deep shot, see if you can hit Pater to start the season.
One difference on this offense for the Lakers that will be very noticeable: Jeremiah Benson, a star O-lineman and D-lineman over the past couple of seasons for the Lakers. He's going to be playing tight end in 2025. Really is taking on the Brandon Davis Swain role across all three phases. We kick off with Jackson Carver, the junior, at the quarterback position. He'll line up under center, a rarity for the Lakers in this two-quarterback system. Handoff right up the gut, gets to the 45, pushes forward to the 47. A nice gainer right off the bat for West Bloomfield. Will Espy, another defensive player, getting the touch there, coming over to offense as well in 2025.
Very physical run right there, kept the legs going, and you see him fall right on top of the pile right there, falling on one of his own offensive linemen to extend that run 1 or 2 yards.
About 9.5 to go in the first quarter. No score between West Bloomfield and Dearborn Fordson. Carver under center again. He'll hand off left side about the 50-yard line and just about a yard shy of the line to gain for Cameron Hall.
Looks like, from just the look of it, Jackson Carver is getting really low right there on his drop, and it's got to make it really hard for the defense to spot who's getting that ball.
Got to have a lot of work in the gym throughout the offseason to be able to move up and down quickly for a guy that's 6'3", 195 like Jackson Carver. 1 yard to go for the Lakers to move the chains. Carver again under center, another man in motion with two in the backfield. Handoff right up the gut, pushing for that first down. And the Lakers will get close, but Fordson making a big stop.
Yeah, first test of the year right now. We were talking about how the Lakers want to get tougher, more physical. No better test than 4th and short, midfield.
That will bring up, as you said, that 4th and short situation. The Lakers, very similarly to past years, particularly with Rick Nance, they have a quarterback in Jackson Carver that also has some punting ability. So it's going to be one of those quick change situations for these opposing teams. They got to be ready for a punt, but they also got to be ready.
That was a fumble? He fumbled.
Yeah. All right.
I thought he was down.
It looked really in close capacity, so there it is. A fumble and a turnover. Fordson takes over. Awadala hands off. And about a 1 yard gainer on first down for Fordson on their second offensive drive.
Yeah, I thought they were coming out, or they were getting ready to measure it or just make sure where the ball was, but huge play for Fordson right there, forcing the turnover. Now the Lakers got to step up for the offense.
Big, physical, athletic defensive line for the Tractors, and it's played a factor already in this first ball game. Now they have great field position lined up at the 47-yard line. Awadala out of the gun. Snap and Fakes the handoff, throw up the field just a little bit too much, throwing that in the direction of Ahmed Al-Barehi and incomplete.
He might have been able to get into the end zone on that play, just absolutely fooling the Lakers or catching them on a blitz. He has nobody within 5 yards of him. Would have been a foot race to the end zone, but just too much zip on it, and it's an incomplete pass.
Al-Barehi very athletic as well. He'd be able to go toe-to-toe with Christian Banks and at least make that competitive. Nonetheless, that would have been a huge gainer for the Tractors, and instead, here we go on third down. 9 yards to go to move the chains. Got across into Laker territory to do it. Al-Barehi looking left, throws to the sideline and outside of the range of Adam Darwish, incomplete. They bring up fourth.
Yeah, looks like so far today, Fordson's coming out with a plan to just get their quarterback moving, keep him out of the pocket, so that way this athletic Lakers defensive line can't get to him and disrupt as many throws. But so far, he's proven to be a bit inaccurate out of the pocket.
I had a chance to talk to Coach Mohamed Shaitu earlier on this week. He said this offensive philosophy isn't really run heavy, isn't really pass heavy. It's really about what works. And so far, they're testing it in the air. Not a lot of run plays for the Tractors so far. Kind of feeling out these Lakers in those scripted first couple of drives. As the Tractors will punt again. Another high kick. This one's got a little bit of range to it. Again, a big bounce. You got all that hang time. So much power with the pigskin coming down as it lands just a little bit in front of the 25. You're going to mark that ball at the 28.
Yeah, one benefit of punting the ball so high is that bounce, but I think that ball might have went higher in the air than it went downfield at first.
Just a little over 4 minutes off the clock so far. 2 possessions now on offense for Fordson, and now the Lakers will have their second offensive possession in this 0-0 ball game at West Bloomfield High School. Jackson Carver again will line up at the quarterback. We will see Jamal Shakespeare at the quarterback a bit, but Lakers want to get this junior quarterback that has a lot of promise, some reps on the varsity squad early on. Under center, it's Carver. In the pocket, looks up the field to the 40, almost picked off. He had Obi Duru in his sights. He wanted to go for it. And then you got Ali Hayder and you got Hassan Al-Mehi right there on the football.
A phenomenal play by Al-Mehi, very nearly intercepted. And if he hadn't made that play, that would have been a huge play for the Lakers. Just an incredible play by the Fordson defensive back right there.
Super athletic, too. He had the range, he had the speed on it, a little bit of a diving reach. All going well for him, and ultimately a pass breakup and a penalty on top of that. The Lakers moving backwards.
And moving back quite a bit right there. Didn't see what happened, but it looks like they went back 15 yards, so it had to have been something significant.
Discipline, something being preached at practice for the Lakers. You got to be playing with your head on straight. It's going to cost you games. It has in the past years. They want to refine that in 2025. As Carver hands it off, here's Obi Duru, past the 20, back to the 25. He's got the sideline! Obi Duru! It's a foot race! Down
that horsepower!
And he is inside the 5. Wow!
No flag. No flag, but a horse collar tackle or a horse collar might have prevented that from being a touchdown. Could see that replay, but just hitting the gas and tight-roping the sideline while doing so. Just an incredible run from Duru.
This man's got speed. He's athletic. He calls himself the Flash. He earned that nickname. Lakers, for the first time this season, in the red zone. First and goal at the 8. Carver under center. Hands it off to SB, right up the gut. SB gets in. Touchdown, WB.
So far, this run game looks phenomenal to start the year. Very physical team up front and just a tremendous job responding after that fumble on the opening drive.
SB, his first rushing touchdown of the season on just his second offensive possession of his varsity career. But this guy's got a lot of experience on the offensive side. He was a quarterback all throughout his career, up through the junior varsity ranks. He's played running back, he's athletic, he plays defensive back, safety, and he earns those 6 points. As Bryce Coburn comes in for the PAT. Shakespeare holds, it's up, it's through the uprights. The Lakers lead 7-0. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome back to Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. The Lakers strike first. Will Espy in the middle of your screen, the Laker 1-2, rushing it in after a huge play from Obi Duru, brought the Lakers back from the brink of their own end zone in their territory, straight down inside the 5. And now, Fordson's going to get their third chance on the offensive side. Lakers a little trickery, onside kick. It is recovered by Fordson. They'll set up at the 48.
After bobbling the opening kickoff, I like it right there, trying to catch Fordson off guard and maybe jump out to a 2-possession lead. But going back to that huge run by Duru, it's almost a tackle for loss. He makes a guy miss in the backfield and he just turns nothing into a 70-yard run and gets the Lakers in position to go up 7-0. Just a huge run.
Looking back at the onside kick there also for the Lakers, not too surprising for me, because yesterday they did about 30 minutes of practicing that during their walkthrough. That's something we're going to see a lot tonight. As Awadallah hands it off, here comes the Tractors. They get a first down on a big run of their own, straight up the gut for Ali Syed.
I mean, just a huge run right there for an offense that has been struggling to get things going to start the game. Picks up, I believe, their first down of the game, and by far their longest play of the game so far.
Saad, another one of those big guys in the backfield you're going to see tonight for the Tractors. 6 feet tall, 195 pounds. First down in Laker territory. The Tractors again going to run the ball. This time the Lakers, they're not letting that go anywhere. They pull him backwards and land at about the 47-yard line.
Talking about how physical this Lakers team can be this year, even away from the football. You see a Laker Laker defensive lineman wrestling another offensive lineman down to the ground. This team seems hungry and physical out of the gate.
Already a couple tackles tonight and assisted tackles for Jeremiah Benson. He led the team last season, 50 tackles total, 30 solo tackles. He's going to be the focal point, the anchor of this Laker defense. Back at the line of scrimmage that was originally marked, 10 yards to go. Awadallah hands it off again, this time outside up to the 40-yard line for a gain of 2.
Benson involved on that play again as you see him jog off the field. But you see these Lakers veterans already making their presence known on the defensive side of the ball, which is what this Lakers team's going to need in order to achieve what they want to this year.
Now, Fordson has a lot of players in the backfield that are going to get touches tonight. So far, it's been mostly Ali Saad on this particular drive. You'll see Ali Al-Ziyadi and Ray Snow Jr., both linebackers and defensive linemen in their own right. They play fullback, something you don't see a whole lot in football in this day and age. From the 40-yard line, Awadallah up the middle is bobbled and almost picked up, and it touched the ground. The mark it incomplete. Really close for Christian Banks.
Either way, they will be getting off the field, but I think he might have came down with that. Another high pass, though, so far. The young quarterback proving to be inaccurate, and it's really costing Fordson so far.
Hassan El-Mehi is the intended receiver, bounced off his hands. And Christian Banks just half a step away from getting the pigskin and his first pick on the varsity squad.
One thing you got to be cautious with right here is that fake punt, especially with the size and fullbacks that Fordson has at their disposal.
Fordson's just got to get to the 32-yard line. They do pull some trickery.
Oh.
That is a muffed punt attempt, and now they're going to get back up. They get a little bit of a line drive. It's going to land on the sideline and near about the 30-yard line where the Lakers will take over. Very lucky and very good execution on top of that for Fordson to ultimately recover that football and just get whatever you can out of it to get it away from those charging special teams front for the Lakers.
Looked like a Laker very nearly got their hand on the football, too. That would have been disaster for Dearborn. So they would have potentially been down 14-0 to start out the game.
Hey, credit to the Tractors there. You got to keep your composure when those things happen. Physical errors happen, but your mental errors that ultimately result from that in most cases are what do the most damage. There they recover, and ultimately for West Bloomfield, just going to start at their 29-yard line. For their third possession tonight, Carver out of the gun, hands it off to Shakespeare. He's looking up the field to the sideline. It is caught. 45-yard line past the 50 to the other 40 and out of bounds. The first reception of the year for the big man, Joel Davis.
Really a huge play right there for the Lakers. Almost disaster. You see Shakespeare and Carver bump into each other, and Joel Davis.
2 flags on the play ultimately on the field as Davis gets his first touch for the Lakers. The senior, 5'10", 190-pound wide receiver that transferred in from Ridgeview High School in Columbia, South Carolina.
I think one of the flags might have been right after the catch. Block going back towards your own goal line. I'm not sure. It looked like they were pointing around where the catch was, so it's going to be interesting to see what the call is.
They are going to call pass interference on the Lakers. It still result in a first down. Ultimately, a little bit of damage for the Lakers. They're still going to have first down, though, Matt. So, you know, there's roses and thorns in that. You still got 4 chances to move the chains, but you don't like those early penalties, especially when you have such a great play like you had from Davis.
Yeah, will go from being in your opponent's territory to just about midfield. Just still good, but bit of a vibe killer.
1st and 10 from the Laker 42-yard line. Shakespeare in the gun now. Quarterback draw, escaping defenders. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but not going to get much of anything. 3 Tractors get in on that tackle.
Yeah, it took a lot of effort just to make it back to the line of scrimmage. You see number 45 right there, Raymond Snow, getting in the backfield immediately and forcing Shakespeare just have to eat the play and get back to the line of scrimmage.
Assist also from Alirada El-Sadi, the senior defensive end. Bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Lakers. Content to now get Jamal Shakespeare some reps in this particular series. Did not see him at quarterback in the first 2 as the Lakers ultimately took this 7-0 lead with about 4 1/4 to go in the first. On 2nd down, they're going to hand it off to Obi Duru. He'll get up to the 45-yard line for the gain of 3.
Yeah, making it a more manageable 3rd down attempt right now. It's huge runs right now to get it to a manageable situation to still add that element of surprise for the Lakers offense.
A little bit of extra athleticism as Dulu tries to juke over Abbas Ajami for the Tractors and get a few extra yards. Doesn't get them, but gets a couple. So we bring up 3rd down. Lakers last year converted on 48.5% of 3rd downs. Will they get one here? Carver out of the gun, looking to his right. At the sideline, it is caught. Past the 45 and up to the 40 for Cameron Hall.
A phenomenal throw with some pressure coming, and he just takes the hit and delivers a dime to the end. See him get brought down by the defensive end right there, but a phenomenal play for the Lakers, and something, if they can have that the whole year, will make this offense or a force to be reckoned with.
Something that people laud Carver for, his poise and his confidence and his pinpoint accuracy. As this time he hands it off to Cameron Hall on 1st down. He'll get 1, maybe 2 yards going to the left side as the Lakers emerge into Tractor territory.
You mentioned Carver's size earlier in the game, and that's something that could prove to be an advantage for him and something that allows him to maybe take some hits or deliver some throws that quarterbacks in Lakers past haven't been able to take.
2nd down and 9 for the Lakers. The officials give them just 1 yard on that 1st down as they're in plus territory. Once again, heading toward the south side end zone at Lakers Stadium. On 3rd down, you got both Shakespeare and Carver lined up. Shakespeare will ultimately take the snap. Cam Hall in motion. Shakespeare looking to screen pass and a whistle as that play gets snapped. Going to be a procedure penalty on the Lakers. Now bring them back a few yards from just 8 yards gain to go to now back about beyond that 10-yard mark.
And discipline was the thing we talked before, and these are the type of penalties that can really hurt you on these type of drives. You just cross midfield, 2nd and 8, 5-yard penalty, and now it's 2nd and long.
Lakers 33 offensive penalties in 2024. They really hurt them, averaged a little over 8 yards per penalty. Shakespeare out of the gun, screen past the Hall, doesn't escape the tacklers. It's going to be another loss for the Lakers as the Tractors secondary, that second level also with the linebackers, they fouled Hall to a T on that. They knew the target.
Yeah, running virtually the same play they were running before that procedural penalty cost them 5 yards. Fordson remembers, brings them back for another loss of about 3 or 4 yards, and now it's 3rd and forever.
Abbas Ajami on the tackle, getting involved in the secondary for the Tractors. The junior, who also plays a little bit of running back. We'll see him maybe get some touches tonight as well. Lakers got to get to the Tractors' 30-yard line to move the chains. Shakespeare out of the gun, high snap, and a whistle. Again, going to be a procedure penalty on the Lakers. Young offensive line for the Lakers, just returning Travis Robertson to that starting lineup. Some of these guys had some experience down the depth chart in past years. Tristan Hunter, Joel Evans. You got other guys who have some experience and pedigree in this program like Carson Pecor, but mostly a new offensive line for the Lake Show in 2025. With a minute to go in the first quarter, Shakespeare out of the gun. Steps up in the pocket, still looking down the field. Now he's got to escape past the 50, up to the original line of scrimmage. Still on his feet, dives for the first down. He's going to be out of bounds, but he is really, really close. What an athletic play from Jamal Shakespeare.
Even if he didn't pick that up, I mean, I don't know how you don't go for or not be inclined to go for it after Shakespeare just puts the team on his back right there and picks up a huge play to even at least make this a 4th and short.
Yeah, stepped out with maybe 3 or 4 yards to go to the line to gain. They're going to give him a really friendly mark. They only have to get to the Tractors' 30-yard line, and they only got 2 yards to gain to get there now.
And this is where having Shakespeare is a huge advantage because he is very accurate, but he's an even better athlete. And it's almost like having a Swiss Army knife in these 4th and short situations.
Yeah, getting good numbers to start things off. Averaged just under 5 yards per carry in 2024. Brings the Lakers right on the doorstep of moving the chains with 55 seconds to go in the first quarter and a 7-0 lead over Dearborn Fordson. Twins to the right for the Lakers and a step across for the Tractors. It's going to be offside. Lakers are going to have a first down. That's going to benefit the Lakers. Now you start to see that pendulum swing. Get your discipline in check. You get a couple of plays to go in your favor. Calms the jitters down a little bit in this week 1 matchup.
Yeah, but again, Shakespeare, phenomenal play to make it 4th and short. And then he gets them to jump off sides with the cadence. Just a tremendous job from one of the leaders and veterans on this team.
And Carver and Shakespeare collectively, they got the same mindset. It's not a competition at the quarterback position. They complement each other very well. They build each other's confidence really well, and they love sharing that quarterback position. 1st and 10 for the Lakers now. Carver will roll right out of the pocket, looking up the field toward the sideline, nearly picked off. Flag on the play, but man alive, Fadil Al-Zubaydi right there.
Right there as the ball's getting there, looks like they're going to discuss it. I mean, I'll take it, but it looked like it was a very bang-bang play and a phenomenal play by the defensive back.
Yeah, that's about as close of competition as you can ask for either of these teams. They're going to call pass interference ultimately on the junior defensive back Al-Zubaydi. And again, the Lakers going to move up the field deeper into Tractor territory once again.
And this is where this Lakers team can be dangerous with their offensive makeup. They can attack you in any way from inside the 20 or 10-yard line. And as you see Joel Davis coming out there, it looks like they may be trying to get physical and pound the rock in right here.
The Lakers scored last season on 86% of their possessions when they got into the red zone. At least 3 points. About 3 out of 4 times, they're getting touchdowns. Carver will hand it off on first down. Big gain for the Lakers. They get inside the 5.
And I wonder now if they're being set up right at, looks like the 1 yard line, if they're going to trot out Shakespeare, but a tremendous run right there by Keegan Hickey.
Hickey, the junior, 5'9", 155 pounds. Not the most imposing numbers for size, but man, is he athletic. And he uses his power really well for a kid of his stature. First and goal for the Lakers at the 3 yard line. Carver under center, leaning forward, hands it off. Espy again, getting to the goal line and getting in. Will they call it? They do. Touchdown, WB, number 2 for number 12.
Already off to a phenomenal start to the year. Two touchdowns already. 2 trips to the red zone, 2 touchdowns. And that's what you want to see from this offense more than anything. Efficiency in putting this defense in the position where their veteran pass rushers can do what they do best and get to the passer.
Joel Davis with that upfield block. Let go just in time so it wasn't going to be a hold. And Espy gets that shoulder down, that toughness. Lakers up 13 zip. PAT on its way with 16 seconds to go in the opening frame. Shakespeare holds. The kick is up for Colburn. He's 2 for 2. It's 14-0 for West Bloomfield. Let's take a look once again at some of the key plays from earlier on in this game. The Lakers stopping the run, and now they're getting the run themselves as Espy gets physical. And he has to hit a couple of tractors to get in there. He's a tractor himself, man. Gets in there, gets in the end zone, and now the Lakers have a 2-score lead early on. We'll stick right here, Matt, as that is a huge start for West Bloomfield in 2025.
They may be the tractors, but so far, this Lakers offensive line mowing them down, and it's just been phenomenal to just see how this Lakers offense is coming out, moving the trenches. They may be behind in the weight category, but so far, the finesse and strength that they have is really coming out to show.
We've seen in past years, Lakers veteran players that have been in those team situations where they've gone deep into the playoffs or even had a little taste of playoff success. When it doesn't go their way, it leaves a really bad taste in their mouth, and they get super motivated. And this is a very close-knit program. They bring their young guys up really well. Lakers high kickoff, short kickoff, lands at the 28, recovered by the Tractors. They're going to move up to about the 35-yard line and about a 5-10-yard return for Dean Hamoud, the junior.
And so far, and unless something happens in this next play, a perfect first quarter for the Lakers to start the year.
A lot of questions for this team about that offense with the youth for the Lakers. And so far, it hasn't seemed to be too much of a problem. A little bit of discipline issues here and there, but you expect that a bit in week 1.
And if not for that fumble, Lakers could very well be up 21-0 right now.
9 seconds left in the first quarter. Lakers up 14-0 on Family Fun Night under the Thursday night lights at Laker Stadium. Here come the Tractors, run outside the tackles, past the 50-yard line, a huge gainer, and a first down for Dean Hamoud. They got some laundry on the field after the fact, the hit on the sideline right at the bench for the Tractors. And maybe a little bit of extracurricular activity. Great balance from Hamoud to stay on his feet, to escape the low tackle from Will Espy, and stick with it. Espy also does it too. He gets that second wind, and maybe that's where the extracurriculars came into play, as that tackle came right on the sideline as Hamoud had his feet out of bounds.
Looks like they may be discussing it because, again, it looked like he was starting to bring him down before he went out of bounds and momentum caused it, but there may have been more that happened after the fact, considering it was right on their sideline.
Very, very likely going to be a conduct penalty, and it is. It's going to be on the Lakers, and it's going to move the Tractors even further in the Laker territory. They haven't really been there so far tonight. As we come to the end of the first quarter, Lakers 14, Dearborn Fordson 0. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. After 1 at West Bloomfield High School on Family Fun Night, a lot of family fun for the Laker faithful, as the Lake Show is up 14-0 on the visiting Dearborn Fordson Tractors. They'll switch sides, going left to right at the Laker 31-yard line. Handoff to Hamoud again. He'll get up to the 25-yard line, almost the 24. And he's starting to pick up some steam, Matt.
Yeah, two really good runs for Hamoud to start this drive and really inject some life into this Fordson offense. And that's where that penalty by the Lakers right there, albeit I don't know if it was necessarily as late of a hit as they ruled it, but really could be a crucial penalty handing them those 15 yards.
It'll be second down with about 4 yards to go to get the chains moving for the Tractors. Had a little bit of trouble getting some traction offensively against a really tough Laker defense. They're sticking with it. It's a toss in the backfield. Running play gets back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. Will Espy going to make the stop as Adam Darwish gets the ball?
And this is going to be the biggest question for the Lakers here today. Can they do this the whole 4 quarters? And that's set the edge and get to the edge. Right now, their athleticism and speed is allowing them to maintain the edge on both offense and defense. But with Fordson's size, it's going to be interesting to see if they can do the entire game.
Just a little bit under a minute and a half through this second period. The Lakers up 14-0, but Fordson marching toward the Laker red zone. The shotgun. Another handoff for Fordson back to the line of scrimmage, and the Lakers pile on. Going nowhere, going backwards. Jeremiah Benson once again leads the charge.
Yeah, it looked like Colin Wheeler was also in on that tackle. Or no, correction. Joel Evans also in on that tackle. But again, this Lakers front seven is being dominant so far to start this game and just not giving the Fordson offense any chance to run the football.
The stoppage of play looks like a timeout. Will remind you to Splash Live weekdays on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. It's your home for Laker football analysis all season long. If you tune in on Friday, you'll have Matt Catoni on the program with me. We'll talk about tonight's game and give a preview of next week's rivalry game in an OAA crossover. Southfield A&T, a lot of history always between their players and the Laker players. They grow up in the game of football together. That'll be an interesting matchup. And then that in a couple weeks, we're going to have state champs and Local 4 Plus coming into town. Big game for the Lakers at Laker Stadium against Rochester Adams. And that's what this is all about ultimately. We bring these players a big spotlight in the fall season. They earn it, and it gets the community excited to come out to West Bloomfield High School for all of their athletics, not just football. Fordson just a couple yards away from moving the chains. Out of the shotgun, it's Awadala. And as the snap goes off, so do the flags. Looking like it's going to be a procedure penalty. That's going to knock the Tractors back a few yards.
It's going to be interesting to see if they opt to punt it and pin the Lakers deep, or if they're still going to go for it. Making it about 4th and 9, 4th and 9.5 now. And kind of in no man's land. So I doubt they have a kicker that can boot it nearly 50 yards.
Still not even 2 minutes into the second period. So still plenty of time and still quite a close game by all consideration for the Tractors. This is their first real sustained offensive drive that's moved into Laker territory, but now they're going to have to face 8 yards to get to the line to gain as opposed to 3 after the penalty. They haven't had a whole lot of those tonight so far. One man in the backfield, twins left for Awadala. He takes the snap, looks to the sideline. It is caught and up to about the 25-yard line for Hussein Abdul-Saini.
Just no time for anything to get downfield right there. This Lakers pass rush, just look at right there off the edge. It looked like that was Joel Evans right there. Getting immediate pressure and not allowing Fordson any time to develop their passing game.
They call him Sater, the senior, 5'10", 185. Second-year starter for Fordson, and a guy you're going to see a lot get those underneath targets there. He gets one out in the boundary. So that ball's going to be marked real close to the line to gain. 10:05 to go in the first quarter. Lakers 14, Tractors 0 as we open up the season on Family Fun Night. And Lakers going to take over. Carver in the shotgun. They're going to hand it off, going left side to Obi-Duru, shifting around, fighting toward the 30. He escapes and gets past and gets up to just about the 33.
Took that Fordson defender for a ride right there. He gets a hand on him, and he brought him probably about 5 yards downfield after the point of contact. Let's see that number 84 right there. Tyrone Reeves latches onto him, and Duru just carries him for another 4 or 5 yards.
Second down for West Bloomfield. They got to get up to about the 43-yard line. Carver out of the shotgun, looking long, up the field. It is caught. Going down. Lakers going to score again. Touchdown for West Bloomfield. It is Willie Edwards.
Willie Edwards gets wide open on this play, and Jackson Carver delivers a dot right to him, allowing him to not break stride whatsoever. Let's see this replay. Gets him with the play fake, pump fakes even, and just delivers a perfect pass and says, gets Jacks.
And a disciplined catch as well for Willie Edwards. Didn't quite have it in his hands, kind of caught it with his forearms, but had the stick-to-itiveness to turn his body, maintain possession, secure the football, and then ultimately turn his head and gun it. 20-0 now for the Lakers, as we'll see Coburn for a third time tonight. And there is a whistle before that kick. It is no whistle. They are going to count it. That is a good kick, and the Lakers up 3 scores. As we look at that scoring play again, Carver, the balance, the poise, he delivered that right in that special pocket.
Yeah, right in the basket, and allowing Edwards to not break stride and just maintain his speed and get in the end zone without having to worry about speeding up or anything.
With the PAT, the Lakers up 21-0. Will stick right here. And Bryce Coburn 3 for 3 on those extra points. Big shoes to fill for him after a couple years of Justin Ward kicking the football, where he was as automatic as you can get. 93% efficiency on extra points, 91% efficiency on field goals, and he was a hell of a player at kicker for the Lakers, as was his brother beforehand. And so, Jake Ward. Bryce, however, this is his first time ever suiting up and playing organized football. He's a varsity golfer for the Lakers kicking coach Nick O'Shea, a Laker alum himself. He was really excited to see him come out and kick tonight. As the Lakers kick off to the Tractors, a nice little return there. They'll get up to about the 34-yard line and begin another possession, trying to answer back after they got some traction last time, got into Laker territory, but the penalties ultimately took that rhythm out of play.
Yeah, but also a phenomenal job by the Lakers to just, as soon as they felt some pushback, they did not hesitate or show any sign of fumbling under the pressure and pushed Dearborn right back out of the red zone.
You want to join the conversation on tonight's game? Our game's broadcast, of course, on our Facebook page and the school district's Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools. But really the biggest chat going on is on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV 15. The Laker legend, Rick Nance, the former quarterback, saying hello tonight as he's tuning in to his Lakers. Awadala screen pass on first down, left side, back to the line of scrimmage and pushing forward to just shy of the 40 before the Lakers get there and pull them all the way back.
One thing that really just stood out to me right there was Joel Evans flying back out there to get involved on that tackle. He was inside of the tackles by the time that pass was thrown, and he just flies out there to just make sure that play does not go even an inch further downfield. And that's just something that seems very prominent with this Lakers defense so far, flying to the football.
Awadala with trips to his right out of the shotgun, looking right up the field. Now he's going to launch it himself, going long. It is caught. The Tractors have space, and the Tractors have 6. Touchdown, Fordson. It's the senior, Ahmed Al-Barehi.
Just a phenomenal job blocking right there for this Fordson offense and gave him all the time in the world. Looks like there was a flag
on the play, so that likely going to come back as Fordson got its first try into the end zone, and we got a Laker down on the field at this time. So, Matt, we're going to bring it back to us as trainer Amy Frazier attends to the injured player. So, Matt, so far for the Lakers, it's been a feast on the offensive side of the ball. The defense been really impressive, too. And it's not really necessarily even been those veteran players. We've seen what we kind of expect from someone like Jeremiah Benson, but the younger guys stepping up as well, ultimately right from the start.
Yeah, and you were mentioning things to watch for in this third season with Hilbers, and he seems to have this team motivated.
We'll take a quick break. We'll come back as they attend to the injured player. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
One in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Welcome back to Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Offsetting penalties on that touchdown play for Fordson, unsportsmanlike conduct, and a holding penalty, ultimately offsetting. They did pull the 6 points off the board, so it will remain a 21-0 lead for West Bloomfield as Fordson finally got that first successful long ball play on the offensive side, Matt.
Yeah, I said most time they'd given him the throw the whole game. Now we know why. Get called for a hold right there. Just a huge momentum killer for an offense like Fordson that's just been struggling to get anything going so far this game.
8:20 to go in the first half. Lakers have a 3-score lead, very similar to what we saw a year ago on Family Fun Night to open the season versus Chippewa Valley. Tractors will try again. Awadala runs right out of the shotgun, looking toward the sideline, and a high pass over the head, once again to Al-Barehi, but incomplete.
Trying to move him out of the pocket once again, but just cannot deliver. And his accuracy has been an issue tonight, with really the only accurate ball him delivering getting wiped away by a penalty.
Now the penalty problem is starting to creep in for Dearborn Fordson. We saw it earlier on for the Lakers. They recovered, and it finally gave them that rhythm and momentum they needed to make their first big push. Awadala again will line up in the shotgun for the Tractors. Dean Hamoud also in the backfield. Twins to either side with a man in motion right to left. Pass outside Hamoud, going to get the first down and more. Past the 50-yard line, up to the 45, and a big gain again for Dean Hamoud. Starting to emerge as the MVP for Fordson tonight on the offensive side, Matt.
A beautiful play call. Hamoud just perfectly selling the chip block, and like he's sitting back in pass protection. Follows the 3 linemen out, and just a huge gain for this Fordson offense.
And as Hamoud was making his way up the field, number 2 for the Fordson Tractors. A big hit for Jamal Shakespeare as well, attacking the ball carrier. This time,
fumble!
Dowla loses it. Lakers have it. Big hit and a rip up. And here come the Lakers setting sail for a touchdown. What a play and a recovery. It's Ezekiel Davis in the first round pick, Maxwell Hairston's old number 22.
From being a tremendous play right there from Awadala to just a nightmare scenario for Fordson. Ball comes loose on the, let's see who got that strip right there. Number 28, Joel Davis, forces the fumble and gets 6 for the Lakers right there on a huge play that really might just arguably shut the door on this game depending on how Fordson responds.
4 unanswered scores. Defensive coordinator Coach Ron Jones loving it on the sideline. Lakers up 27-0 with 7:44 to go in the half off the big touchdown from Ezekiel Davis, the senior linebacker. Davis split time between JV and the freshman squad coming up, mostly JV in past seasons. Former 2-sport athlete in his own right, track and field in middle school. So we see a lot of these players participate in that spring sport to condition themselves for football. Kick is up for Coburn. It's good once again. With that, it's 28-0 Lakers in the second quarter on Laker football, Civic Center TV at 89.3 Lakes FM. As we come back to Laker football, we'll take another look at some of these key recent plays. Here's the big one, a defensive attack for the Lakers. Awadala getting tons of pressure coming from Joel Evans. He gets in there. The ball is ripped away and ultimately recovered by Ezekiel Davis, who then takes it from the 44-yard line to the house to give the Lakers a 4-score lead on Family Fun Night, Matt. A huge punch out of the gate in 2025.
I didn't notice it on the initial play, but it looked like as Joel Evans was trying to strip that football, Awadali ran into Travis Robertson, Jeremiah Benson, and that forced that ball out. So once again, this Lakers front four all getting to the quarterback consistently. And
Adam Darwish on the kick return, as you see the replay there, gets up to the 35-yard line, about a 10-yard recovery, as the Tractors will begin again on offense, looking to get something going as we approach halftime. 7:37 left to play in the opening half of the 2025 season. The Tractors out of the KLAA-East going up against the Lakers of the OAA Red. Fordson finishing third in their conference, 5-5 last season overall, 5-2 in the KLAA. On first down, a handoff right up the middle, 2, maybe 3 yards, heading to the right side. Once again, it's Dean Hamoud.
And really just so tough for this Fordson offense. Every single time they've had a big play and maybe something that could allow themselves to get back in this game, the Lakers find a way to respond and just take back all the momentum that Fordson may have gained.
Second down for Dearborn Fordson. They just get past the original line of scrimmage, about half a yard. They'll credit him for 1, 2nd and 9. Trips to the left for Awadala, looking to his right side to the sideline. Again, sails over the head of Albarehi.
Looked like Albarehi was not ready for that pass to come whatsoever and not looking for it. Once again, they don't have any time to go downfield with the football, with the pressure that this Lakers front seven has been able to generate so far.
6:55 to go in the half. It'll be third down and long for Fordson as they remain in the huddle. Lakers already lined up. The Tractors talking this over. Hey, let's get that leadership going. Let's go through these plays a little bit, talk over the strategy, and try to get past this Laker defense and back into their territory. Trips to the left. Awadala looking again to the right. Hit as he throws, going nowhere into empty space and lands at the 39 incomplete.
You can just tell that this Lakers pressure is starting to affect this Fordson offense at so many levels. You just see Awadali right there just throw the ball almost immediately, not even giving his receivers an opportunity to get open almost.
Now bring up fourth down for the Tractors, and again looking to punt the ball to West Bloomfield. They haven't gotten a lot of range on their punts so far tonight, Matt. However, Dean Hamoud lining up as their punter has gotten a lot of hang time. That's driven that ball into the dirt. And so far it's landed in a way where it keeps taking a very friendly bounce. Hamoud holds it, he punts it off. This time it does get some distance and that power. What a bounce. Oh, baby, that lands inside the 5, down to the 3. Still going, they wave it off right around the 2-yard line. That's a hell of a punt.
Taking out all of the offense's frustrations on that poor football right there, booming that punt to the 2-yard line, and just, again, potential opportunity for Fordson to maybe make a play, and but also West Bloomfield in the position to just inch this ball downfield and go into the half potentially up 30 points.
Lakers going to have their worst starting offensive field position of the night so far. They'll begin on their own 2-yard line. Now here's the test of that front 5 fortitude for West Bloomfield. Can they protect the backfield, protect the quarterback, and prevent 2 points from going on the board as the first for the Track Crews in 2025. Let's find out. Carver under center. Takes a snap, deep in his end zone, looking to the left, just overhead and incomplete, intended for Joel Davis.
Very nearly a huge throw right there to get the Lakers out of the shadow of their own end zone. But a great job by Fordson right there to effect this pass. You see number 51 right there get in there at the end of that throw. Hadi Dujaba just completely forced this throw to be inaccurate. If not, it might have been a bucket throw in the foot race to see how far they could get downfield.
2nd and 10 for the Lakers. They are dangerously deep as Carver, calling to the sideline, wants to get the right personnel out on the field. The junior quarterback taking command early on, calls Willie Edwards back out there, who had a big touchdown himself just a few minutes ago. The last offensive possession. Under center, Carver hands it off right up the gut, shifting outside and tripped up. Turf Monster gets to Will Espy. He gets a little bit of distance, but he had an opening there too, Matt.
Fordson, it looked like they were overcompensating, expecting the outside run. Espy takes advantage of that, but unfortunately trips as he's trying to cut upfield and would prevent a huge gain for the Lakers.
About halfway through the second quarter, it's West Bloomfield 28, Fordson 0. A commanding game so far for the Lakers. 3 of their scores on the offensive side, 2 rushing touchdowns from Will Espy, 1 receiving touchdown on the last possession from Willie Edwards, and a fumble recovery just a couple moments ago from Ezekiel Davis. On 3rd down, here's Obi Duru on the sweep, gets outside of the 15 and up to the 17-yard line, and a massive hit on the way down by Ali Al-Ziyadi.
A huge gain for the Lakers right here, but look at right there, the pulling offensive line, or no, that's not an offensive lineman. That is Joel Davis clearing the way like a pulling guard and just making sure that play is pushed upfield enough to get the first down.
Getting that first varsity action in 2025 as a senior, you want to impress your coaches. Upfield blocking, the Jaden Allo special, maybe the heir apparent there in the 28. Lakers will get the first down. Here is Jamal Shakespeare. They're lined up at the 16. 2 men in the backfield make that 3 with Hall in motion. Shakespeare takes it himself. Got some space to the sideline, up to the 40. Once again, opening the floodgates for the gunslinger and a first down.
This is why Shakespeare is so valuable to this offense. As soon as you start worrying about all the other pieces, Espy, anyone else that can get the ball, next thing you know, Shakespeare's just keeping the snap for himself and burning you for 20 yards down the field.
It's a big gain there, and 2 consecutive first downs for the Lakers with about 5 minutes to play in the half. The Lakers trying to enact the mercy rule before we take a break. Cam Hall in motion again, right to left, going to the right side. Here comes Jamal Shakespeare again up the gut and gets about 5 yards. Man, is that interior O-line opening up some space for the speedy athlete.
Yeah, again, this Fordson team may outweigh them, but they are moving them off the line of scrimmage.
You saw Joel Evans right there shift from the right side to the left side and make a big block on the defensive edge. That is a key play. That's what you want from your O-lineman, that athleticism, that finesse, that power. You got athletes, now you can use them. 2nd and about 4 for Jamal Shakespeare, again in the Wildcat. He loses it! Ball is free, mouse in the house. And looks like West Bloomfield just dove on top of it. That was close. It was that close to going back the other way. Take a look at this again.
Almost a nightmare scenario for the Lakers. You see him bump into Obi Duru right there, and the ball pops loose, but fortunately the Lakers are able to fall on it.
Hassan Hobala almost had it. He got right there as we really slow it down, but ultimately one-on-one, and it's Colin Wheeler, the O-lineman, that gets to it. His first season on the O-line starting. He's a senior. He's got that JV experience. Everyone yells fumble. You look toward that football. You see it. First side sees it. They go right at it. One-on-one matchup, and the Lakers come back with it. Ultimately, this will end up bringing them back just 1 yard ahead of the original line of scrimmage. Now Zach Hilbers and company want to talk it over.
Yeah, I like calling the timeout right here. see what Fordson's going to come out in and see what you can do to pick up this first down.
3:08 left in the first half. The Lakers a commanding lead, 28-0. They just got moved back on a big fumble. Now Carver back at the shotgun. He'll hand it off to Shakespeare. Now Shakespeare's looking long. Does he have it? He does! Oh, man! Another one! Touchdown, WB! This time it's Shannon Roshan, but it's coming back, Matt. There's a flag on the play, a likely hold on what was a bomb for Jamal Shakespeare.
A beautiful play that may have been written by Shakespeare himself in order for Shakespeare to carry it out, but unfortunately if it's coming back, but just a tremendous play. And just another aspect of this Lakers offense that you got to be worried about with Shakespeare. He can take a pitch in the backfield and deliver a strike from out of nowhere.
That is a gut punch too. Jamal Shakespeare could not have thrown a better ball, and Shannon Roshan, he had to chase it down just a little bit. As you see the terminal point of this play, but he got there right at the perfect moment. He slowed it down enough to catch the football. You love the discipline so far from these young receivers. Willie Edwards showed it a couple possessions ago. Now Shannon Roshan, the senior, we call him Rocco. He came down with that football. Hopefully we'll get another chance at some point tonight to make a big play like that. But it'll ultimately come back, and the Lakers now, they're in long territory. They were marching up to about 3-4 yards from the line to gain, and ever since, it's just been marching backwards.
And it looks like both quarterbacks are in the backfield on this play.
Something you're going to see a lot this season as Shakespeare out of the Wildcat takes the football, marches forward, and bounces forward, fighting with some physicality for a short game.
Yeah, knowing that it's third and forever, Lakers kind of doing the smart thing right here, just playing it safe. Try and go into the half with a 4-possession lead. Put yourself in a good position to pin the Fordson offense that's been struggling deep, and try and expand on your lead maybe.
Another timeout coming from the West Bloomfield Lakers as they are up 28-0. A little bit of discipline issues on this particular drive creeping back in. We saw it early on. It did affect a little bit of their execution in those opening drives, but they ultimately were able to get a hold of themselves, get some poise back into play, and make some really impressive drives, Matt. Now that's exactly why you take this timeout early on in this game, talk it over with your offense, get those jitters out a little bit from some of those younger players, and get that discipline, especially in the trenches, back in the fold, as your skill players are making some really big plays so far.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, discipline, there's two sides to the discipline, or aspect of discipline. They're up 28-0. They have to maintain that discipline, can't take their foot off the gas, lose focus, and just keep on playing a clean game of football if they want to come away with the win.
About 2.5 to play in the half. West Bloomfield 28, Dearborn Fordson 0. There's fourth down for the Lakers after a slew of penalties, about 4th and 16. As Shakespeare is lined up, a couple other guys in the backfield, they ultimately will punt the football. Carver launches it past the 50, lands about the 37, bounces and recovered. Here come the Tractors. They got some space and up to the 50-yard line. What a recovery for Hassan Al-Mehi, a big punt recovery to get back to just about in the plus territory. He'll mark it probably at the 50, but maybe with a friendly marker, he'll get it to the 49. They do mark it ultimately right smack at midfield on the left hash.
Yeah, Al-Mehi timed that bounce perfectly, just catching it right in stride and allowing himself to just take that punt 20 yards upfield, smack dab right to the 50 for Fordson to start this drive and try and get on the board before the half.
They got 2 minutes and 24 seconds to do that, along with 2 of their 3 timeouts. As Awadallah out of the shotgun, hands it off to Hamoud, gets outside and gets about 7 yards and reaches for 8. A big play on first down for number 2.
Yeah, Dean Hamoud so far has been really the sole piece of this offense that's been shining tonight. And if they can find a way to take advantage of some of these plays that he's been making, they can get back in this game.
Keeps those legs chopping, stiff arms past the Lakers' Kyron Merriweather. 2nd and 7 out of the shotgun. Firas Awadallah pump fakes, Looked long, now he's going to go for the first down. He gets it and a couple more. Heads up play for the junior quarterback, and they'll move the chains.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to take a shot downfield, but right there, Jeremiah Benson disrupting that throw, jumping up and taking away the angle, but a phenomenal play right there from Aladala to tuck it and get the first down.
Coach Shatu praising his composure, his situational adjustments. There, it's on display. 1st and 10. Awadala rolling outside the pocket, getting chased, and down he goes. A big sack in the backfield and outside the pocket. Tristan Hunter, and a penalty on the field too.
Probably going to be a hold. It looks like there's a handful of them on that. No pun intended, a handful of holds on that play.
Everywhere except for pushing on those pads. That's not going to go very well for any team tonight. A few of those penalties on both sides. And a little bit of forward momentum now coming to a halt for Dearborn Fordson. Officials still talking this over with the West Bloomfield sideline. And ultimately we'll come back out on the field as Fordson takes that time to talk things over on their sideline. It's going to go backwards regardless. And it will remain first down for Fordson.
Yeah, the Lakers opting for probably about 7 more yards, pushing that back that much closer to midfield. And I like it right there. Their offense has been struggling. Keep on pushing them further and further back or behind the sticks.
Awadala getting chased. Quick throw up top. Caught by Hamoud past the original line of scrimmage. Still on his feet. Gets a first down and more into the red zone. Inside the 10 and out of bounds at the 18. Hamoud finally gets his due after some big plays got called back. Now he gets the Tractors into the red zone.
Second time they've ran that play now. And I don't know, that lineman might have been more than 3 yards downfield, but they pull it off again, and Hamoud making a phenomenal play to put them inside the 10.
Hey, you take what you can get as the Tractors are in the red zone for the first time tonight. Awadala on the gun to Hamoud, the running back. It's a couple, and ultimately wrapped up by the Lakers around the boundary on the left side.
Yeah, and you see right there, the Lakers doing whatever they can to make sure that pile goes on for as long as possible, so those seconds are eating off the clock.
First time in the red zone tonight, first time inside the 5, and under a minute to score before halftime. Awadala fakes it into the corner and incomplete. Locked down from Kalik Robinson.
Another poor throw right there again. If Kalik Robinson wasn't playing such phenomenal coverage on his man, he might have been able to pick that ball off.
As you see, Amy Frazier, the Lakers athletic trainer, attending to Jamal Shakespeare on the sideline. Early season, a little bit of a cooler night after some rain earlier on today. Tightens things up a little bit. Jamal looking good ultimately, doesn't seem to be in any sort of pain, and he'll be seeing a lot of football throughout this season. So take that lead and get your recovery going. Third down, here's Awadala, got some time, looking into the end zone, looking left. It is bobbled incomplete and almost picked off as Christian Banks was in range for the football off the bobble.
O-line doing a tremendous job of picking up that blitz right there and just nothing doing downfield. And the Lakers defensive backs holding tight right there to force a fourth down.
Ali Saad with the key block that ultimately gave Awadala that little extra couple of split seconds to go through one last progression and make a play. 35 seconds to go in the first half. Fourth down, it is 28-0 for West Bloomfield. Twins tight left for the Tractors. Firas Awadala, the quarterback, looking to the sideline, and Mohamed Shatu will call a timeout. Shatu in his first season as head coach, but he has been at Dearborn Fordson for a number of years as an assistant coach, and he's had some legendary pedigree that he's learned under. He played football for Dearborn Fordson, a defensive player, played under Jeff Sturgalis, a championship head coach, way back in 1993. Shatu having graduated in 2007, where he ultimately became an assistant coach, eventually for Walker Zaban, his uncle. who retired just after 18 seasons as the head coach last year, made the playoffs 17 times in that run, Matt. So similar storyline for him and Zach Hilbers, who, of course, a West Bloomfield alum, who had a chance to learn under some longtime coaches like Ron Bellamy and Tyrese Grice and got his chance. Now Mohammed Shaitu gets his with Fordson and wants to reclaim that storied identity that they have in Dearborn. Once again on fourth down, same formation. Here's Firas Awadallah getting chased, pumps his way out of it, corner and picked off. Oh, and then he dropped it. Once again, it's Christian Banks. He had the football in his hands and just got a little too excited as it slipped out. Still a little bit of slickness tonight, Matt. We are coming off some periodic rain this afternoon, but ultimately a turnover on downs.
A huge stand right there for the Lakers, though. Fordson gets inside the 10-yard line with that screen. They pick up maybe 1 yard on the ensuing carry. And the Lakers defense from there on did not budge. And that's the toughness that so far in this game, the Lakers are proving that they have.
How about that series defensively from Christian Banks, getting his praises from Coach Hilbers, from defensive coordinator Ron Jones. Couple PBUs just on that drive, just had 3 in total a season ago. If you're looking at some of the key players like Kalik Robinson, as the Lakers take a knee, and they'll take this one to the half. 28-0 in favor of West Bloomfield. Was it apparently looking like a timeout as Jackson Carver talking it over with the referees. Lakers staying on the field despite taking a knee. Both teams staying on the field as our clock continues to run. The referees, however, talking it over. Maybe there will be a little extra time on the board. Nope. Now you're finally seeing that Jackson Carver and company going to go to the sideline. No timeout from Fordson there. And the Lakers, a big first half. 28 points for the good guys, 0 for the Dearborn Fordson Tractor family. Fun night at Laker Stadium and a whole lot of fun for the Laker faithful in the first 24 minutes. West Bloomfield jumping out to a 28-0 lead. Going through the scoring breakdown, the Lakers kicked the ball off to start the game, and about 5 minutes in, Will Espy got his first rushing touchdown, a big break, led ultimately to Espy being able to get in scoring range. He got in with about 7:25 to go in the first quarter off of a big run to set it up from Obi Duru. Just about 7 minutes later, another touchdown for Will Espy on the ground, just a short 3-4 yard gainer into the end zone, puts the Lakers up 14-0. Just a few minutes later, as we go about 3 minutes into the second quarter, it was Willie Edwards with his first career receiving touchdown on a long ball. The 6'3" junior scores and puts the Lakers up 21-0. Then it was the defense, Matt, getting involved. Ezekiel Davis off of a rip-up. Fumble recovery takes it to the house, and that's where the Lakers went up 28-0. We were expecting in this first game for West Bloomfield in 2025 for the offense to have a bit of a hit or miss performance and the defense to be stout, veteran, deadly, and on its game. And pleasantly, we've seen, of course, the defense do just that, a shutout in the first half and putting the Lakers in the position to be on the doorstep of enacting the mercy rule with a 5-touchdown lead. On the offensive side, though, extremely impressive performance, with really the only mark so far against this Lakers offense being some of those penalties.
Yeah, and those penalties and that fumble on the opening drive, really the only blemishes on this Lakers offense so far today. But as a team, they are doing the two most important things you can do to win football games, and that's stopping the run and running the football yourself. They are moving people in the trenches on offense and defense, and if they're able to do this the entire season, it's going to be a pretty good football team.
The word I look to describe this Lakers offensive performance from this young offense that only returned 4 starters from last season, mind you, is smooth. It just seems like they're comfortable when they're running the ball. It seems like that offensive line, despite its youth with only 1 returning starter in senior Travis Robertson, it seems like they're really comfortable going up against a very tough matchup in that front 7 for the Tractors, and that's given this two-quarterback system with Jackson Carver, the junior, and Jamal Shakespeare, the senior, a lot of opportunities to make plays.
Yeah, and that's one thing so far that this offense seems like it can do, and that's anything. They can come at you from any way. They've gone under center. They've gone to that almost kind of wildcat formation with Jamal Shakespeare. They've had Carver throw the ball to Shakespeare and have Shakespeare throw a pass afterwards. And it seems like this is going to be a unique and diverse offense this year. And
they've been executing really well. I mean, you don't love the penalties, Matt, but you see that kind of come up for a couple of reasons. One, very young team. Again, can't emphasize enough. They lost 7 offensive starters, including 4 of their 5 offensive linemen graduating after last season. And then you have, on top of that, the jitters you always see in the first 48 minutes of any season for even the top team in the state all the way down the line. And then you have the Lakers ranked number 31 by the D-Zone coming into this season, also feeling that a little early on. So all things considered, you don't love the penalties. You want your discipline to be in check from the jump. But all things considered, a very impressive half from this young team.
yeah, you really can't expect anyone to be perfect the first game of the season, but the Lakers have been about as close as they can be to be perfect. They haven't allowed necessarily any like gap in mind plays. It's more so just been they've gotten caught off guard with the same screen twice. But besides that, they haven't had any glaring mistakes on defense, lapses in coverage, missing gaps. They've been a very detailed team so far on offense and defense.
Yeah, a guy that's going to be a focal point for that Lakers defense in the second half, both at the second and the third level, is going to be Dean Hamoud, a huge playmaker. Wasn't listed as a starter for this team as one of those focal points on the offensive side from the skill positions, but he is showing his worth to Coach Shatu tonight for the Dearborn Fordson Tractors.
Yeah, he has been running with intent so far tonight, and he has really been, again, I've said it already, the only shining point of this offense. Their quarterback, their receivers have all struggled to get open, and he's been their one leg to lean on this entire game.
And he's had a huge first half, a couple of breakout plays. Some of those have been taken back by penalties in their own right for Dearborn Fordson, but ultimately an impressive half for Dean Hamoud. It's been a little bit of a slow go otherwise for Fordson's quarterback, Firas Abadallah, in his second season as the starter. Not the case as we look at the player profile for Jackson Carver, the new starting quarterback, the primary quarterback for the West Bloomfield Lakers in the 10 this season. Jackson Carver coming into this season. High expectations. A varsity player as a sophomore last year, but didn't get to play a lot because he was injured, hurt his collarbone, was out for the season, but he worked hard this offseason, attending camps all over the country, getting tested by a variety of players of big talent from across the nation, and also getting to practice 7-on-7 with some of his teammates and build that chemistry that he didn't get to build necessarily in practice and, of course, in games in 2024.
Yeah, you mentioned the injury last year kind of preventing him from gaining that experience he would have had as a sophomore on varsity. Now that's where having Shakespeare, as you saw, bringing back that 2-quarterback system, it helps having him, because if he has any sort of hiccups along the way, he can lean on Shakespeare and ask him, you've been playing quarterback on varsity for 3 years now. What are some of the things that I could do to improve and get better myself?
Something we've heard a lot tonight at Laker Stadium, the Laker Fight Song from the marching band, also making their debut at West Bloomfield High School as they march toward the swamp, one of the most electric student sections in all the land, getting their premiere tonight on the big stage as the Lakers kick off the season on a special Thursday night. It's Labor Day weekend coming up, Matt. You got families that come into the area to enjoy the lakes, and they get this great tradition at West Bloomfield High School. Of course, the football team's been fantastic in the last 10 to 15 years, but this marching band, too, a huge part of this experience as you pack the stadium on night number 1. It really just shows you how far the Laker football program has come and how much of a gathering point it has been for the greater West Bloomfield community in recent years.
Yeah, and that's one thing that kind of goes hand in hand. The better that the football team gets, typically, you have a pretty good band too, because someone's got to keep the crowd entertained, and that just makes nights like tonight so much better because the band gets their chance to get the attention that they deserve for all the work they put in, and the football team gets to go out and put on a show themselves.
Jesse Sachs, the band director at West Bloomfield High School, kind of in the infancy of his career as well over there, but doing a fantastic job. We heard from the Laker Express, who's now in their second year after the retirement of Cheryl Hauk, still sounding absolutely amazing as they're going to be traveling all over southeastern Michigan, performing all throughout the year as well at a high level. We see them at Pistons games, at other big events. They got to go to Carnegie Hall in recent years. West Bloomfield High School's got a lot to be proud of, Matt.
Yeah, and it really is incredible the amount of talent that West Bloomfield has to offer on and off the field. And even in years past, we've seen members of the football team be a part of groups like the Lakers Express.
And see those people that are in Laker Express, that are in the marching band, that are in the school plays. We saw Matilda and so many other shorter plays throughout the year. Last year, right on this very ground at West Bloomfield High School, as we zoom out at a packed house. Look at that environment. Does that scream high school football on a Friday night, Matt? It shouldn't, because it's Thursday.
But again, what better place to be on a night like tonight? It's not necessarily as hot as you'd like it to be for August, but a cool night, very relaxing night to just come out with the family and watch a game like tonight. The Lakers up 28-0. What a better night for football.
Hey, it's pretty hot up here in the booth, Matt. I don't know about you. Maybe you can't see it with me. I'm just so pale. I'm technically a reflective surface. But I'm feeling the heat up here, man. What a start to this season. 28-0 lead for the Lakers. As you see the Dearborn Tractors warming up. Fordson looking to make a big second half push and get some headway here. They got a tough schedule as well, man. That's part of what this is all about. I talked to Coach Mohammed Shaitu earlier on this week, and I asked him, you're in a really tough division playing in the KLAA-East. You got legendary programs like Belleville, who's had a huge outing in recent years. You've got teams like Stevenson and Churchill out of Livonia over there. Livonia Franklin had a big year last year, winning 6 games, 5-2 in the division as well. So why schedule a non-conference game that's such a gut punch with the OAA Red and play a team like West Bloomfield to start off? And really what it started with a conversation between Coach Shaitu and athletic director Rick Dorn, who, by the way, both of them have been so helpful in helping us get prepared for this week as well. The sportsmanship across these programs definitely on display. They wanted a big challenge. They wanted to look toward a team that could help them build a foundation from the jump against the West Bloomfield Lakers this season. That was really the perfect preparation for them to get ready for Week 9, for the early playoffs, for maybe perhaps a championship run should they be so effective and lucky to have that opportunity. Early in that process, they keyed in on West Bloomfield. They made a few phone calls. They talked to Coach Hilbers. They talked to Eric Pierce. And ultimately, their first choice was the choice that they made. And it worked well both ways, because if you're West Bloomfield, it doesn't get any easier when you get into the red here in the OAA. Having this big challenge in Week 1, especially if you can conquer it like they have in the first 24 minutes, that's a lot of downhill momentum for those next 8 regular season games.
Yeah, and we've heard Coach Hilbers in years past mention, scheduling teams like Chippewa Valley, for example, these out-of-conference games where, typically you're playing a disciplined in school with a lot of history and success. So it's almost a good test to see where you stand in the state, but also not slacking off before you get into these huge and crucial OAA Red games, where they're almost seemingly playoff games every single week.
You talk about Chippewa Valley last year, as we see head coach Zach Hilbers in his 3rd season, looking to pick up his 16th career win as the head coach. Last year, 5-6, his first season, 10-3. You mentioned Chippewa Valley, which kicked off the season just about 1 year ago to the date on Family Fun Night just before Labor Day weekend. Scott Merchant, the longtime head coach at Chippewa Valley, will be seeing him in about 7 weeks on the road at what's technically my alma mater at Bloomfield Hills High School, as the OAA continues to bring in big coaching pedigree on top of some of the top talent in the Detroit area and all across the state of Michigan. That really is the reason why you have these tough early season non-conference games at the Prep Kickoff Classic presented by Amazon at Wayne State that saw Clarkston go up against another KLAA team in Belleville earlier on today. It's all about testing your team early, picking up those playoff points from being competitive, especially if you can beat some of the top teams on paper in the state of Michigan.
And again, you mentioned the coaches flocking to be in the OAA. It just speaks to the talent that has been coming out of this division for the past 10, 15 years, that it draws in coaches. Coaches know that the talent coming out of the area is the best means to helping themselves even.
You want to pick up a trophy in the MHSAA, it all goes through the OAA. Clarkston, number 10 in the state, defeating number 5 Belleville in Detroit earlier today. Final score there just a couple of hours ago, 38-7 in favor of the Wolves, who are bringing back a treasure trove of talent, including quarterback Alex Wazenko in 2025. We'll see them right here at West Bloomfield High School on Friday, October 10th. Matt, exciting, albeit really tough schedule ahead for the Lake Show.
Again, one of those things where last year they kind of caught the shorter end of the stick with some of those road games. This year, some of those tougher games are very fortunately at home.
Lakers up 28-0. We're 24 minutes into this contest. They kicked off to begin the game. So now they're going to receive to start the second half, which is bad news for Fordson when it comes to the point total, but also an opportunity for them to make a big stop to start the second half, gain some momentum, and try to chip away at this 4-score lead for the Lakers. 24 minutes left in this ball game. A squib kick to start off the second half. Hands team, it's dropped at the 7, recovered at the 5. Here comes Obi Duru. They'll only get to the 6. Matt, not the greatest, as the Hands team practice was a focal point of yesterday's final walkthrough for the Lakers. And that there, not only a line drive, it had a ton of power. It was kind of a weird bounce too, and Duru just struggling to get on top of that football.
Yeah, bobbling it not just once, but twice. And that's really just what hurt them right there. That's its second bobble on the recovery, and unfortunately, Lakers pinned deep to start their opening drive of the half.
As much as you try to keep those footballs dry, tough to do in this sort of environment. Rainy periodically all throughout the day keeps the football slick. Lakers will start off the first drive of the second half at just their own 6-yard line. It is their second worst field position to begin an offensive drive this evening. The last coming on 2 possessions ago where they began at 2. High snap to Carver out of the shotgun. There goes the pocket. Carver jumps forward, gets maybe 1 yard to try to salvage something as a helmet comes off for one of the Lakers. It's Travis Robertson. Take a look at this again.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a bit of a high snap, killing the play. Carver eating it and just doing whatever he can to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Helmet comes off for Travis Robertson, the Bowling Green State commit, so he has to take a play off as it got physical with Ali Rada Al-Saidi, a fellow senior. Pretty big dude himself, 6'2", 215 for the Tractors, going up against the Tractor himself, 6'6", 275, Travis Robertson. 2nd and 8 for the Lakers. Handoff right up the middle, straight to the 10-yard line. Will make it 3rd and 6. The stop for the Tractors made right up the middle. A couple of players in on the tackle. Key tackle being made by Ray Snow Jr., the junior D lineman and fullback for the Tractors. Provide some front flexibility, a very efficient defensive lineman, according to Coach Shea, too. They really like their defensive linemen in Snow and Murtada Alaba on the edges. Third down snap to Carver. He steps up in the pocket. He is getting chased. He has to roll out toward the boundary, toward the sideline, toward the line to gain, and +1. That is a nice recovery from the junior quarterback. The discipline, the decision-making on display in the second half as he salvages this series.
Just a phenomenal job right there. Not panicking. He has Hassan Hobala right on his back right there. As he's escaping the pocket, he tucks it, gets through it, ignores the pressure, picks up the first down, and keeps this drive going.
Yeah, Hobala on that. Mohammed Rehan broke the pocket. 3-year starter in his own right, but ultimately it's Jackson Carver making the play. 1st and 10. Handoff outside, going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it for Obi Duru. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, seen a lot more fight out of this Fordson defensive line to open up the half, and this is where they are going to be an interesting team this year. Their size, it's going to wear on a lot of their opponents, and I think they're going to be probably one of the better second-half teams in the state this year.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. They'll give them a yard on that. Probably a reach at the very end. Very friendly placement, 2nd and 9 at their own 20-yard line for the Lakers. They'll split a couple out to the left side as Jamal Shakespeare will come in at quarterback now. One man in motion. Now it is Carver under center. Man, he's got that deep squat there. He throws it to the right hash. It is incomplete, and that is lucky because right there was Abbas Ajami, the junior, and he almost picked that puppy off.
At the second time, Fordson has almost jumped a pass over the middle. Just very nearly trouble for the Lakers right there and handing Fordson good field position.
Luckily, that wasn't caught by the opposing team. So 3rd down as we see Jackson Carver again. Kind of tough to see sometimes, Matt, because you don't really see a lot of Laker quarterbacks under center as this ball is snapped quickly and handed off outside on the sweep to Obi Duru, who gets a few.
Unable to pick up the first down there, but as you mentioned, how low Carver gets before the snap, it's something that's an added element to this Lakers offense. It just adds a slight level of deception to where you're not seeing the ball as well when it's snapped. You don't necessarily know where it's going to end up.
I don't know how you hide in plain sight when you're 6'3" and nearly 200 pounds, but a master of disguise he is in these green uniforms on this green field. He's in one of those darker sections there, so that adds a little bit to the mystery. Probably would be a lot easier for him to hide, too, if they were in those camo uniforms they usually read tonight. But luckily for us broadcasters, those are not making an appearance this evening. We can read these uniforms as the Lakers, rarity for them, unsuccessful on the offensive drive. There's a whistle on 4th down as the Lakers were preparing to punt it, and Fordson will go to their sideline, likely a timeout from their side. Looked like actually a timeout from the Lakers. They point toward that sideline. Want to remind you again, after this week's game, it's this weekend Laker football. It'll be a busy Labor Day weekend for the Lakers. They will practice on the holiday. I will speak to Coach Hilbers, some of the players and coaches, and get to know the team and review, of course, Dearborn Fordson tonight as the Lakers open up the season and preview another home game coming up for the first time on Friday next week. And the Lakers will have a rivalry game early on in the season. They'll take on Southfield A&T in the second year under their new head coach, Keith McKenzie. Even more OAA football NFL pedigree. Kent McKenzie, a Super Bowl champion for the Green Bay Packers. And now taking over Southfield A&T just last season, following their state championship run, rebuilding that program from the ground up. Here at West Bloomfield High School, 28 for the Lakers and 0 for Fordson. Carver, a high-hanging punt, will land just before the 50-yard line, bounce up to the 50 and back to the 49, and that's where Fordson will take over.
Yeah, I mean, really an unfortunate series for the Lakers right there, all starting from the kickoff. unable to advance the ball far enough to pin the Fordson offense deep right here, and now puts that defense in a position once again. Can they force a play to offset this offense once again?
8:11 to play in the third quarter. The Lakers up 28-0. That first drive, 3 minutes and 49 seconds for the Lakers. A nice sustained drive nonetheless. That's something you want to see from them for the season as they get those tougher opponents with their young offense. From the 46, here come the Tractors. A 1-yard gain up to the 47 and a quick stop for Jeremiah Benson and company, all getting in on that. And Tank Pittman, the lead tackler there.
Yeah, and again, even though you have a pulling tractor right there, Lakers not budging whatsoever and causing a pile and limiting this rushing offense.
Ezekiel Davis pulls the legs, and Tank Pittman puts his body into that and makes the finishing play. Good to see the captain back out there in the Laker number 9. A late season injury. He was just cleared for football action once again on August 3rd and making a big play there. Second down and about 8 for the Tractors, approaching the 50-yard line. Awadala, quick skip pass up the middle, caught, and a flag on the play. Will likely be a hold as Albarehi crosses the midfield line. That won't last very long. He's coming back. Take a look at this. Yeah, a couple of holds looked like on the edge. Just the tackle's a little bit too handsy there. This is going to come back for Fordson.
Something all too familiar for the Fordson offense tonight. They get something and it immediately comes back because of a penalty. And these holding penalties so far tonight are just killing the offense whenever they gain any sort of momentum.
Going to be a big topic of conversation for Hamzi El-Zayed, the offensive coordinator, another Fordson alum on the sidelines, a recent one at that as well. He played for Fordson, then went to Fordham to begin his college career. So you see a Laker on the ground. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back and talk more about Fordson's offensive team and the Lakers. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And Fordson will begin this offensive drive, their first of the second half, down 28-0 with a little over 7 minutes to play in the third. Second and long off the penalty. Awadala got time. As the pressure emerges, he throws the ball. It is incomplete and again nearly picked off. 3 Lakers in range. The throw once again just a little bit high as the pressure was rushing in on Firas Awadala. Made contact, however, in the hands of Adam Darwish before falling to the ground, nearly picked off by Ezekiel Davis.
Yeah, the Lakers so far just making life really tough for Awadala. Even when they're not getting to him, they're altering the angles of these throws and not giving him any time to get a good, clean throw off.
Not giving him time to make decisions either. Really smart quarterback. 4.1 GPA, second-year starter. Offensive coordinator Hamzi El-Zayed and head coach Mohamed Shaitu very excited about this quarterback as he makes a third down throw deep down the field and just a little bit short that time as Darwish was slowed down by the pressure in the secondary from Bryce Chandler.
Yeah, it looked like he might have had a step on him, but he just couldn't get that ball far enough on the sideline. Underthrows him, and the Lakers defense looks like they're about to get off the field again.
Made a big play on third down to bring up fourth. Bryce Chandler, also a basketball player at West Bloomfield High School, where he's getting some attention in the MAC from Miami, Ohio, as well as from the University of Cincinnati, where they've had some big news from alumni this week as well with the Kelsey brothers and whatnot. Nicknamed Showtime for Bryce Chandler, and man, did he put on a show there, slowing down Adam Darwish and making a big play on third down. Brings up fourth and a punt. Flag on the field immediately as that punt is made. It'll land low at the 32-yard line. We'll see how that penalty impacts the results of that punt as Christian Banks recovers it low.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what the penalty is because Lakers might have to just to decline it and let it lie where it is.
Yeah, pretty good field position, all things considered.
But depending on what the call is, they might make them re-kick it.
Coach Hilbert's coming out to talk this over with the officiating crew. Wants to get some details on what exactly happened. It makes you think maybe it's a penalty from the West Bloomfield side, but then again, as you said, got to make a decision. It is a procedure penalty ultimately on Fordson, making the decision to decline that penalty, and as you said, take the field position. Really, any kickoff, you can get past the 25-yard line, the touchback zone, you're going to take that plus yardage. 28-yard line, pretty good starting spot for the Lakers.
Yeah, and just shy of midfield. If they can just eat away, run the ball, they'll eat a good amount of time off the clock and ideally score right before the end of the quarter and get that mercy roll clock going.
They'll place that ball in between the hashes. It'll be more like the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Lakers, up 28-zip with 6:54 to go in the third quarter. Out of the gun is Carver with Cam Hall in motion. Steps up, some pressure from behind. Now he goes on the run to the 35-yard line and terminates that play out of bounds at the 38. Heads up move from the junior quarterback.
As you mentioned, poise seems to be a very key attribute of his game. He just calmly steps up in the pocket, he knows there's nothing there, escapes and picks up about 8 or 9 yards.
He's a smooth operator. I asked him about his injury because it's a big one for a quarterback, injuring your collarbone, being out for the season. He said he feels good. It's really not even been a factor in his recovery or his preparation for the season. Feels about A+ coming into week number 1 out of under center. He hands the ball off, and the Lakers will get up to about the 45-yard line. That's enough to get the chains moving.
Looked like a flag came out pretty quick, though, so that play may be coming back.
Unfortunately, it was a nice power run from Joel Davis, but yeah, there you have it. Pretty clear couple of holds there for the Lake Show. Going to move them back as they finally got a little bit of significant forward progress on that rushing play. Had a really good first half running the football. The offensive line making some key openings for guys like Joel Davis and Will Espy, as we'll get the official call. It's going to be a face mask instead on the defense being called. So ultimately, they don't call a hold on the Lakers, and it goes in their favor with an unsportsmanlike conduct from the face mask. Puts the Lakers back into plus territory. Now we got another flag that flies as the ball approaches the 40-yard line. Maybe just some debris on the field there instead. A whistle being blown, and here goes Carver. Hands it off up the gut. Shifting to the left side, it's Davis again. This time he gets the forward progress with no laundry on the field to bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, after that play last time, he picks up the 1st down. You get those extra 15 yards to go with it. Reward him with another carry and see what he can get right there. Ideal 1st down carry, keeps the clock moving, sets you up in favorable position.
Joel Evans and Cameron Smith with some key blocks, too, to set that up. 2nd and about 4. Carver hands off to Davis again outside, puts his shoulder down, makes some contact. It's one-on-one with Hussein Abdel-Sader, and maybe a yard on 2nd down for Joel Davis.
Yeah, getting Joel Davis the rock right here, and it looks like, they're up big in the second half. They're saying, let's get the ball to our physical running back that's going to just hurt them and wear away at them every single time they have to tackle him.
Abdel-Sader, the senior, gets in on a lot of those tackles. 52 solo tackles last year, a massive haul for him. 2 of those for a loss. Got in on it there against Davis. Tough guy to wrap up. 3rd and short. Carver hands it off outside. A little bit of trickery, misdirection. And Obi-Duru gets a nice gainer to the sideline.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be enough to pick up the 1st down, too. So, again, huge play for the Lakers as they keep that clock moving.
Obi-Duru, one of the few returning skill players for the Lakers on the offensive side. The number 5 rusher on the team last season, just under 100 yards on his 20 carries. Averaged about 4.5 every time he touched the football. Pretty good numbers. Going to be a key rusher for the Lakers, especially in those sweeps in 2025. So under center, it's Carver. 1st and 10 for the Lakers at the 30-yard line. Right smack up the gut. They'll nearly get the 1st down again as that offensive line opening up a hole, and a physical rush from the Lakers. This time it's Keegan Hickey.
Yeah, again, we've talked about how low Jackson Carver's getting on these snaps. When you see Obi Dewar going into motion, it just strikes fear into you, and he's so low, you don't even see that ball going to Hickey.
195-pound quarterback, a lot of power at the base there, too, for Jackson Carver. Allows him to really make a quick initial push. Those fast twitch muscles on display, and that's what you need when you're trying to make a quick handoff, get some misdirection going, as you saw a couple plays ago. Once again under center, Carver will hand it off again, and the Lakers go straight up the middle. A nice block, a little bit of a tush-push past the 20 to the 19 for Will Espy.
Yeah, and another physical run right there for Espy, refusing to go down at first contact. He gets wrapped up by the defensive tackle right at the line of scrimmage. He just keeps the leg moving. You see number 28 right there, Joel Davis, helping out once again on that play.
Really just a tug of war for Will Espy there. It wasn't even the blocking that necessarily helped him get those extra yards. He just pulled and fought for it. And now the Lakers move inside the 20, back in the red zone again. Under center, it's Carver, man in motion. Handoff once again outside. No, it's going to be Carver. He hit that ball really well. Doesn't get any yards on that. Goes backwards a couple steps, but really well executed play as he spins around, fakes that handoff to Will Espy. Or maybe that just got broken up. I don't know. He didn't seem to like the way that play went. I think that was just some botched execution. He took the football to make sure that ball didn't hit the dirt.
Yeah, it looked like maybe Shakespeare and Will Espy may have bumped into each other right there, kind of hurting that play, what it was supposed to be. But Carver, very wisely, just eating the play, letting to see another down.
3:42 to go in the third quarter. Lakers up 28-0. Carver under center, gets a block, looking left, caught, and he's going to walk right on in. Another touchdown for the West Bloomfield Lakers. It's Jamar Ray.
Yeah, I mean, just a phenomenal throw right there for Carver, rewarding Davis for his efforts on this drive. Just phenomenal blocking, huge chunk runs on first down, making them second and shorts right there. Just a perfect job running that wheel route and getting past that corner and cover two. Just a perfect job right there by the quarterback and running back.
It's 28, not 20. It is Joel Davis, as you very astutely mentioned, Matt, getting on the board. He deserves that. He earned that. Some key rushes all game long. Some of the bigger ones got called back, but now he gets the Lakers back on the board. 34-0 with the PAT from Coburn makes it 35-zip. Let's take another look at this one.
And a phenomenal job right there by Espy. That's going to go unnoticed sometimes. Just a phenomenal job slowing that defender for a split second. He didn't necessarily have to win the block. He just had to attempt the block to give Carver enough time to deliver that strike.
And so now familiar territory for West Bloomfield from a year ago in this particular ball game. A Thursday night family fun night contest to open the season. They're up 35-0. In the MHSAA, the mercy rule comes into play beyond a 35-point lead. So there will be a running clock anytime there's not a stoppage of play, like a timeout or an injury, change of possession, change of quarter. And otherwise, this clock will remain moving, keep the game moving along. A lot of distance here. However, if there's a safety, if there's a field goal, of course, if there's a touchdown for the Tractors, it'll go back to traditional clock management. Lakers kick this off to about the 18-yard line. It is recovered, and call for a fair catch instead terminates that play as it is recovered by Albarehi.
Yeah, almost a perfect kick, too, right there. Looked like they were trying to put it right by the sideline to where if he caught it, he had to run out of bounds. But right now, after losing such a key player like Alos, you're seeing the special teams for the Lakers be very detailed and just fly to the football.
Looking around the OAA, a blowout win earlier today in Detroit for Clarkston over Belleville. Right now, late in the game, across the OAA, it's the Lake Orion Dragons tied at 7 against Northville. Tractors first down, they're going to hand it off. And an option play going to the left side, not much for Ali Saad.
And again, trying to get outside on this Lakers team is something that they have struggled to do so far here tonight. And just speaks to the athleticism of this defensive front for the Lakers.
Look at that defensive front, Jeremiah Benson talking things over. The vocal leader there alongside Kamari Pittman. Two longtime starters on this varsity squad for the Lakers. Brings up second down, about 7. Awadala, another handoff, a draw play, big break and a first down, then tripped up. Dean Hamoud making his first big play of the second half.
Based on Hamoud's reaction, it looks like this run may be coming back. But again, you mentioned the prowess of the defensive ends on this defense. It's something that, it's very unique opportunity for the Lakers. Both of your defensive ends being 6'4 plus, giving them the opportunity to get those hands up and affect the play.
That hold coming in right about the 20-yard line, just off of the line of scrimmage, will set the Tractors back quite a distance. And once again, a common theme we've seen for both the Lakers and the Tractors tonight, those penalties, a lot of them being holds or procedure penalties. Happens with younger teams, especially in the trenches early on in the season, not helping the Tractors as now this moves back to their 11-yard line. Now 3 men in the backfield with the man in motion. Awadala option play. He'll hand it off to Saad. He'll get back to the 20-yard line and make it now 9 yards to go to move the chains with $1:50 to go in the third quarter, and West Bloomfield leading 35-0.
Yeah, that's why these penalties on Fordson for these holds are just crucial, because they just put them in these positions to be 3rd and long.
I'm Tyler Keefe. He's Matt Catoni. The Lakers are up 35-0 late in the third quarter. What a start for the West Bloomfield Lakers tonight as we kick off the fall in West Bloomfield, the unofficial start with football underway. And we look forward to one of the biggest events in West Bloomfield all throughout the fall season, the West Bloomfield Fire Department open house. And so I look wrong direction over here to my north at Fire Station number 1. It's about to undergo quite a big renovation, Matt. So they're going to have their Fire Department open house a few weeks earlier. Normally it's in October. This time it's going to be on September 21st, Sunday at Fire Station number 1. Stay tuned for more coverage right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Second and long for the Tractors. $1:38 to go in the third quarter. Awadala out of the shotgun. Looking to his left side toward the sideline. Deep pass, and oh my goodness! The Lakers come down with that 50-50 ball. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Kalik Robinson.
Oh my, I thought that was going to be an amazing catch for Tyrone Reeves, but he rips it away from Reeves at the last minute. And just a phenomenal play by Robinson.
That is a nasty man and a big boss move for Kalik Robinson. Right past the 50-yard line, was about to be the biggest catch of the night for the Tractors. And he mows that away, and he's dancing on the sideline. What a play. That is the biggest defensive play of the year so far for the Lakers, and that's pretty crazy to say, Matt, considering they had a fumble recovery for touchdown in the opening half.
Yeah, I mean, just a phenomenal play. So what if the receiver has his hands on the football? You don't give up on the play, and Kalik Robinson gets the Lakers the football back with a chance to expand on their lead now. Wait.
I don't know what to say about an athletic play like that.
Wait.
A 50-50 ball, but
They
it looks
gave him
like
the catch?
they're going to give him the catch. Wow. I mean, either way, that's a 50-50 ball. That's 50.1 for the Tractors, 49.9 for the Lakers. It's a screen pass to the left sideline in the boundary to Dean Hamoud. He'll get maybe 1 yard. So we take a look at that play.
I mean, a little behind him once again, but that may have saved him from a bigger hit from Robinson right there.
Yeah, he didn't like not getting that pick. He was going for the ankles and just barely escaped. Hamoud gets past the line of scrimmage and into plus territory. Just a hair. So it'll be 2nd down and 9. Whistle right before the play. And a timeout. West Bloomfield did not like what they saw there on one of the rare plays tonight where the Tractors have been in plus territory, Matt. But by and large, you've seen some really, really impressive plays from this Laker defense at all 3 levels tonight. I mean, we've seen Jeremiah Benson and company getting the business done, attacking the quarterback. We've seen great stops from the Lakers linebacker core. And this secondary, this is the most impressive part of the Lakers defense on paper, with Jamal Shakespeare back as kind of that slot linebacker, nickel corner. Will Espy's going to play a little bit of defensive back and a lot of safety this season. And Christian Banks having an impressive night too. Really, at all 3 levels, you couldn't have asked for a better defensive night for the Lakers.
Yeah, and really what's been the most impressive aspect of this Lakers defense tonight is how they've responded to the big plays by Fordson's offense. The few big plays they've had, they've almost all been responded, or the Lakers have responded with either a turnover or a sack almost immediately.
35 and a half minutes just about into this game. Still no score tonight for Fordson. Lakers lead 35-zip with 34 seconds to go in the 3rd. 2nd and long. Awadala got a little time, looking long down the field and just out of range once again of Ahmed Al-Barehi. Couple of Lakers in range there to make the stop, including Showtime Chandler.
Yeah, doing just a good enough job of slowing up and messing with that receiver's route. Yet, no way of getting to the football, just stacks on top of the receiver and disrupts the throw perfectly.
Meanwhile, in the city, under 5 minutes to play between Northville and Lake Orion, the Mustangs taking a lead over the Dragons just a few minutes ago at the Amazon Prep Kickoff Classic down at Wayne State, a place the Lakers have been a few times in recent years. Last couple of years electing to start their season at home. So there's another stoppage of play and a timeout. It's the end of the quarter. 35 for the Lakers, 0 for Fordson. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome back to Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. You're 36 minutes out of 48 into this contest. And after 3, the Lakers with 35, and the Tractors of Dearborn Fordson coming in from the KLAA-East with 0. From the Laker 45, 3rd down, getting chased, and down goes the quarterback, and out comes the football. The Lakers come up with it. We'll see what the ruling is. It's a huge hit and a fumble recovery for Jamar Ray. As Awadala, tons of pressure, and all of a sudden, here comes Joel Evans out of nowhere.
Just a phenomenal play by Joel Evans. His 2nd forced fumble of the night, I believe. And just, again, the one thing that the Lakers couldn't allow for this Fordson team to get back in the game was for them to pass the football. And they have not taken their foot off the gas, and they are pummeling Awadala.
Yeah, Evans just popped through that like the Kool-Aid man. Oh, yeah, get to the quarterback. And a big hit knocks that football loose. And now, from the Tractors being on the Laker 45, it's the Lakers at the Tractors 44 and a half. Carver in the shotgun, 1 man in motion. He'll hand that ball off, going to the left side. And quickly batted down in the backfield. This is a different Laker, not listed on the roster in the 83 for West Bloomfield tonight. A late addition getting the football.
Yeah, and this is where it's going to be interesting to see what the Lakers do here now. You're up 35 points. You have the ball in plus territory. Just trying to hold on to it, move the sticks as much as you can, and this game could be over pretty soon. But it's going to be interesting to see the younger guys that they work in and give an opportunity to make a name or just establish themselves on this offense.
Loss of 2 on 1st down sets up 2nd and 12 for the Lakers with about 10 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this ball game, up 35-0. Twins out to the left, 2 men in the backfield alongside the junior quarterback Jackson Carver. Handoff, Davis up the middle, gets to the 40-yard line and pushes forward along with that big offensive line down to the 38.
And with the goal being to get first downs, who better to give the football to than the guy that's picking up 2 or 3 yards every single time he falls down? Just a phenomenal job picking up about 5 or 6 yards of carry every single time he's gotten the ball here tonight. And now it looks like he's going to need help off the field. But a phenomenal job so far tonight for Davis.
Yeah, Joel Davis has been a huge player for the Lakers as Coach Hilbers and Amy Frazier and company come out. Cold night, physical night, and that's going to cause some injuries. With the training team on the field, both teams head to the sideline. He's laying down there just getting stretched out. Likely some cramping and a little bit of extra contact, and he just needs a moment to let the initial pain and the pull of that go away. It doesn't look to be anything too serious with just under 10 minutes to play in this game. Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. All throughout the season, do our best to bring you both the home and away contests. Lakers got 3 games at the Swamp to kick off 2025. Of course, tonight against Dearborn Fordson. Out of conference, out of league from the OAA Red down to the Blue with Southfield A&T coming in next week. 7 o'clock kickoff, first Friday night game of the year. You'll see that right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Then looking ahead, a couple of games that will be in the OAA Red division. Beyond that, Rochester Adams here at Lakers Stadium on September 12th. That game will be on State Champs and Local 4+ as they pick up games of the week all throughout the year, and the Lakers getting that early season spotlight before they head off on the road to Dragon Country against Lake Orion in what's always a really tough contest, Matt.
Yeah, and Lake Orion, really last year, they were another one of the phenomenal teams that West Bloomfield played. And this year, they didn't necessarily have the season that they wanted to last year. Lake Orion will definitely be coming out with some fire.
It is 35-0 in favor of the West Bloomfield Lakers. The stoppage because of an injury to the ball carrier on that previous play, Joel Davis. So you start to see both teams huddle once again on the field, talking things over. And one of the players you're seeing as we go over to Joel Davis walking off the field, he's just fine, as we said, just a little bit of physicality on a cool night. He daps up Coach Hilbers, all smiles as this big fella comes to the sideline. Got that kind of frame you see in running backs of old, like Jerome Bettis, that's just big and strong, but has that athletic ability.
Yeah, you mentioned this being his first varsity action. He has moved people here tonight.
And because of the big lead, Nathan Mafucci, the third-string quarterback, coming in for the Lakers. They'll get back to the line of scrimmage and just shy of the original line of scrimmage. Another Laker getting bumped up there. Mafucci getting his first snap of the season and his first snap at the varsity level. Obi Duru right back just about to the original line of scrimmage for the Lakers.
Yeah, again, up 35-0. They don't necessarily have to go for it, but, the aspect of keeping the clock moving and ending this game as soon as possible has to be in Hilber's mind, especially with players of his own getting banged up these past 2 plays.
Yeah, part of the reason you're seeing guys like Jackson Carver and Jamal Shakespeare now on the sideline, Nathan Mafucci getting his first chance, the junior quarterback. Number 3 guy got quite a lot of reps yesterday also, so the Lakers making sure those guys down the depth chart are ready for action as well. There's a whistle on the play. Obiduru looking toward the Lakers sideline. So referees will pick up this football, a procedure penalty, likely a delay of game, moves the Lakers back 5 yards.
Yeah, it looks like the Lakers opted for the classic try and get them to jump off sides. If they don't, who cares? We're up 35. We'll just pin them deep and punt it.
Now 4th and long for the Lakers, a little bit on the longer side, about a 4th and 5, 4th and 6th for West Bloomfield, who look toward that sideline. What a game for Jackson Carver as he talks over with his fellow junior and backup quarterback Mafucci on the sideline. By and large, for these quarterbacks tonight, a stellar performance, Matt, as you open up the 2025 season.
Yeah, really nothing really to note on in terms of the quarterback play or really the offense for the most part. A handful of holding penalties and procedural calls, but really as close as you can come to a perfect night for the offense.
A low snap and a bouncing line drive to Jimmy Collins, the punter, ultimately sends it sailing and bouncing and rolling inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line, where Obi Duru downs it deep in tractor territory.
And again, just the smart thing to do right there. You have the clock moving. You've had some players get banged up. You want to get out of here with both teams being as healthy as possible. Just keep the clock moving, punt it, pin them deep, and keep it rolling.
With a 35-point lead for the Lakers, up 35-zip with 7.5 thereabouts and ticking the play. It is a rolling clock, the mercy rule in effect through the MHSAA, but a single point goes on the board for the Tractors on this series. That will stop, as it is 35 or more points, the threshold for this mercy rule. So back come the Tractors, and it is fumbled. Backup quarterback loses it. It goes into the end zone. 2 more points on the board. A safety for West Bloomfield.
That's just incredible. Awadala still in the game, and then disaster still, just a horrific night for the young quarterback, something that they're going to hope to forget as a safety now. Hand the Lakers the ball back, up 37-0.
That increases this Laker lead. Last season, their largest scoring games both involved them scoring 49 points. In the regular season, it was in their both involved 49 points. It was in their regular season 49-41 matchup against the Lake Orion Dragons. A win at home last season for the Lakers, and then their playoff performance on the road against the Wildcats of Novi in the opening frame of the playoffs, 49-15 victory. That was their largest scoring game and biggest victory on the season with that large scoring performance. But last year, 42-0 was the final score right here at West Bloomfield High School on opening night. Very similar looking here tonight for West Bloomfield, up 37-0, about halfway through the fourth quarter.
And again, a perfect night for the West Bloomfield offense and defense, and about as far from a perfect game for the Dearborn offense. But as we talked about, this is why you schedule these games, to see where you stand in the state. And right now, if you're West Bloomfield, you have to feel ecstatic and about as happy as you can be with where you stand.
Every program has those rebuilding periods, a bit of that for Dearborn Fordson this season, coming off a 5-5 season a year ago, where they were 5-2 in the KLAA-East. They lost in the first round to their rivals in Dearborn 30-0. So they got some November football, as they've had 17 out of the last 18 seasons under Fawad or Walker Saban, who retired after last season with 135 wins as a head coach. Squib kick recovered by the Lakers at the 32-yard line to the left sideline, now shifting back the other way. Here comes Obi Duru, past the 50, past the 45, at the sideline. Oh man, he's still going. When will it stop? It stops at the 20. A big kickoff recovery for Obi Duru puts the Lakers back in the red zone.
Directing traffic as he returned it. You see him right here the second time on that return, pushing his teammates into blocks. Just his vision and awareness with the football in his hand is incredible. And just for the second time tonight, he's just wowed you, just making something out of nothing.
They call him the Flash. He earns that nickname. Got the speed, got the agility, the acceleration, all on display. The physicals for the West Bloomfield Lakers. Right smack on the 20-yard line in the red zone, where this team was so effective a year ago. Again, I said it earlier on, Matt. They scored on 86 2/3% of their trips to the red zone the season ago, as Mafucci is back in at the quarterback. Hands it off. Cam Hall shifts inside on the sweep and gets up inside the 15. About the 13-yard line as we see a tractor player down on the field. Looks like just a lot of contact there. Had to roll that one off and take a couple of breathers.
And you see Travis Robertson clearing the hole right there. Just a phenomenal job by the O-line tonight, clearing up all these lanes and even giving an opportunity for the playmakers that you wouldn't have expected to make plays tonight to get an opportunity.
Lakers running a 2-quarterback system, but they have 3 quarterbacks on this roster, all very capable, all get first-team reps in their practices, including in that Wednesday walkthrough yesterday. I had a chance to observe that, and the Lakers were really working on refining their technique, their blocking skills, the discipline. Listening was a huge part of that. Coach Helber stopping a couple of plays in their offensive sets, even with their first team, to say, hey, look, I told you X, Y, and Z. This is what I wanted you to do. This is the play that we called. It wasn't set up correctly. The personnel wasn't correct. Maybe the motion in this package versus this package wasn't correct. We have to get these things right. If you're not lined up, if you don't understand these packages, you're not going to get on the field. If you're not executing properly and you're causing us to have penalties or to have to call timeouts or not be able to execute the plays to our advantage in a really tough schedule, we're going to have other guys come up and play ball. And so far, the Lakers, everybody really earning their worth. All 11 players on this field at a time, making some big plays tonight in a tough opening game matchup that has really gone the Lakers' way because of that execution.
And ironically enough, looks like it's going to be an illegal procedure call right there. But, God, granted, it's a third string, and you saw Travis Robertson come off right before that play. But seemingly, the Lakers living up to that coaching that you need to know what you're doing at all times.
We can give them the benefit of the doubt also. Maybe perhaps a bit of an announcer jinx on that. Gave him a little too much of the benefit of the doubt. Now we're all back down to earth with 2:40 to go in this ball game. It's 37-0 in favor of West Bloomfield. Mafucci takes the ball himself right up the middle. Contact with a couple of tractor players and about 3 or 4 yards for the junior quarterback.
Again, just keeping the clock moving, not doing anything that's going to stop that running clock. Just a good job of picking up a handful of yards and keeping the ball moving forward.
Another penalty for the Lakers, and the legal formation will set them back. Defensively, Ali Al-Ziyadi in on that tackle for Dearborn Fordson, along with Ali Radha Al-Saidi. You haven't heard the name Ali Al-Ziyadi a lot tonight. He's a senior. He's a big-time leader. KLAA All-Conference in his 3rd season as a starter. Been on this varsity squad for Dearborn since he was a sophomore. And really has had a stellar career as the Lakers bring this football up inside the 10-yard line. It's Cam Hall with a nice run on the jet sweep.
It looked like he's going to be pretty close to the line to gain as well. Let's see. Looks like he needed to get to about the 10-yard line. Yeah, he may have picked that up right there. If he did, that's very much looking like it'll be the end of the game.
And Cam Hall was working hard leading up to this season, knowing he was going to be one of the featured receivers with some tough shoes to fill. His dad and him just a few days ago with some heavy medicine balls, working on hills, sprinting up the hills with weight in your arms. Learning to take that contact and fight for those extra yards, that's what he did. Following great advice from both LeVar Ball and Walter Payton, 2 people that both preach to how important running up hills are. As you see a replay of that previous play, it is Keegan Hickey taking the ball, runs right into his own lineman, but a lot of contact too from that defensive lineman, Ray Snow Jr. But he stays on his feet, keeps his balance, takes the contact well, and ultimately gets about a yard, maybe 2.
That's one thing that shined with the Lakers running backs tonight. At any point of first contact, it almost shifted them into a second gear and made them want to run that much harder.
Victory formation. Mafucci takes the knee as this running clock will go down to 0. That's all she wrote for week number 1. Final score tonight from the Swamp on Family Fun Night. Lakers 37, Dearborn Fordson 0, as both teams will shake hands and walk toward midfield. Win number 16 in the head coaching career for Zach Hilbers, as he'll meet up with Mohamed Shaitu, 2 lifers for their alma mater, as this is the final score of week number 1. What a performance for West Bloomfield and Dearborn Fordson. A start to this year that they were looking for. Hey, what do we need to improve on? What do we need to look into? What are we going to work on as we go into a really tough schedule ahead? I think both teams got a little bit of what they were looking for out of this matchup, but definitely you saw West Bloomfield get a lot more than they bargained for looking into week number 1.
I mean, just phenomenal for the Lakers. Last year, one of the biggest things they struggled with were those teams with the larger offensive and defensive lines that kind of made them pale in comparison in size at times. This year, or this week, you have a team whose average offensive lineman's around 260 pounds, and they moved them all over the place on offense and defense, just just showing through the work that they put in this offseason and how physical they can be as a team.
Lakers put up 28 points in the first half, just 9 in the second half, 1 touchdown and a late safety ultimately made this what it was, a 37-0 performance. But Matt, kind of what we wanted to see from the Lakers, with a little bit extra on top of that on this Thursday night ball game to kick off the season. You wanted to see the stars shine, those veteran players take the big step forward. But you also wanted to get the questions answered about this young Lakers offense. Is the 2-quarterback system going to be a problem? So far, you got the answer you want. Looks like it's going to be a no on that one. Jackson Carver slicing and dicing as the primary quarterback tonight, but Jamal Shakespeare also having a really stellar performance. And ultimately, they got a slew of these skill players involved in some really key plays tonight.
Yeah, it really just, what looked the most impressive about this Lakers offense was the versatility. Looked like they could get yards from you in various ways. You saw Jackson Carver deliver just a tremendous out route on a 3rd down, and you saw Shakespeare come in and run the offense just as smoothly. It doesn't really seem like last year where at times the offense would disappear and they didn't necessarily know who they could lean on. Now it looks like they have a bit more of an identity, with Carver being phenomenal under center and handing the ball and just deceiving the defense, but Shakespeare really looking like someone they can rely on if the offense looks like they start to struggle.
And some of the guys that are coming up into this offensive front for the Lakers in the skills positions making plays as well. Will Espy coming over to now be a 2-way player in 2025, mostly playing safety a season ago. Couple of rushing touchdowns early on in the air. Willie Edwards got involved tonight. We also saw Ezekiel Davis get involved in the air late in the game, and Joel Davis got involved too in this as well. Ezekiel Davis on the defensive side, Joel Davis on the offensive side for the Lakers. That's really what is the big promising factor from the offensive side tonight, is seeing those young guys coming up the depth chart with some huge shoes to fill, making plays and putting points on the board.
Yeah, and what really stood out to me is you mentioned how it was really his first varsity action was Joel Davis. Not even when he was getting the ball, acting more as a fullback for most of the game. The easiest way to move the coaching staff is by moving people, and that's what he did throughout this game. He was upfield, hitting linebackers, hitting defensive backs, doing whatever he could to ensure that these runs went to the second level.
You had really 4 of the best offensive weapons in the history of this program graduate last season. Cameron Flowers, who had a couple of stellar years for West Bloomfield. Jaden Allos, underrated player. Joshua Tate, a couple years as the primary running back, and then arguably the greatest wide receiver in the history of this program in Elijah Durham, who in just 2 seasons as the starting wide receiver for the Lakers had 2 of the greatest receiving seasons, quite literally the records. He tied 2 consecutive seasons for receiving touchdowns. He was the all-time leading receiving yards player in the Lakers history. Replacing those 4 players alone was 81% of the team's receiving guards, was 60% of rushing guards, and nearly 70% of all the Lakers' offensive scoring plays in 2024. Really promising to see the Lakers be able to pick that up, that slack tonight to kick off the season with a 37-0 victory over Dearborn Fordson. We'll take a break on the Laker postgame show. We'll wrap things up on the other side. Lakers with a big victory in week 1. Stay tuned. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. As you get a look at some of the key plays from tonight as the Lakers have a emphatic opening to the 2025 season. We've had a lot of fun here on Family Fun Night tonight, Matt. The Lakers winning the game against Fordson Tractors 37-0. Your final thoughts?
You mentioned the importance of replacing guys like Josh Tate and Elijah Durham in particular. And tonight, it just really looked like we saw the method of how they're going to do it, just attacking you in various ways with the run game. They have a lot of different guys that can make plays with the football in the run game, and it's going to be interesting to see how they expand on that.
Well-executed game plan in all 3 phases and showed on the scoreboard. Final score, 37-0. The Lakers victorious tonight. We'll see you next week, Friday, right back here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM as the Lakers take on the Warriors of Southfield A&T. For our entire crew, alongside Matt Catoni, I'm Tyler Keefe. Good night from Lakers Stadium.